Songs from your favourite musicals. Encore Radio.
It's Encore Radio here at the 50th anniversary of Hair the Musical, and Elaine Paige was in the original production.
Indeed,
and
I was. Yes, here I am.
Yeah.
And I was just saying to others that I've been talking to, James Radio in particular, saying, "Crikey, can we believe? 50 years ago, it really is like another lifetime ago."
I know.
But then, of course, this show was completely innovative. It changed the face of musical theatre. And all this wonderful rock music and the freedom and the note tabs.
There wasn't a rock musical really before this, was
not
there?
really. I mean, there'd been Godspell, I suppose, but that music wasn't particularly rock in the same way this was. So that was sort of around at the same time. But this is the one. This was the hot show to be in. And I was about, 17, 18 years old. So to be in the biggest hit show in the West End when you're a teenager like that, and singing all this wonderful music and standing up for civil rights and, everything against racism, against war, wanting peace and love and drugs and all of that. That's the sad thing, it seems to me, that 50 years on, you think about it, and all those controversies that we were tackling in the show then, here we are, 50 years later.
Still arguing about the same.
The world turns, not a lot changes, does it?
But in thinking about the 1960s, at that time, when I'm a child of the 60s, and the world really did change.
It did.
Because
this did change everything.
Because you couldn't have put hair on in 1961.
No,
I mean, it just wouldn't have happened, would it? And so it was groundbreaking.
It was groundbreaking because I remember quite clearly the opening night was postponed or delayed or something because the Lord Chamberlain had to change the law with regard to, because there's nudity in the show and the profanities and so on that it was considered then anyway, not today. It would be nothing, of course. But yes, the Lord Chamberlain changed the law to do with the theatre. He had to make that change before we were allowed to do the show. So, it was major. I mean, to have a governmental law passed to enable us to do the show, that is something.
Now, you are the Elaine Paige we know on the radio, and Evita, and all the other shows you've done, and your new album out last year and so on. But when we go back to the 1960s here, there you were on stage as a teenager taking your clothes off.
Well, I was very much in the tribe, as we called the chorus then. I didn't have a role. I understudied Annabelle Levington, who played Sheila. I did get to go on, and I did get to sing the wonderful song Easy to Be Hard, which I still sing on occasion on my concert tour that I'm doing at the moment, all over the country.
Quick plug.
I know. And I also talk about beanbags and joss sticks as well, because I reminisce about this time in my life, because it was a very special time in my life. I've forgotten the question now.
I'm just saying it was, there you were kind of doing something different from how we know you today, if you like.
Well, I was young, I was young and free.
Groundbreaking.
And single in a groundbreaking show, and everybody, it wasn't something that you had to do to get your kit off. And I was always, a bit feeble about it, really. I think I was probably one of the last in the company there was over 30 of us. I think I was one of the last to actually get around to doing it, but I did in the end with a friend of mine who I've just seen here this evening.
This is a bit of a meeting of old friends here this evening, isn't it?
It is. It's like meeting the family. Gary Hamilton. He's tall, dark and handsome, and he said to me, "I'll stand next to you and so, give you a bit of moral support, hold your hand." I said, "Would you really?" He said, "Yeah, of course I will." So I remember us being at the stuffed at the back of the stage because I thought you were less likely to be seen at the back. And of course the dreaded moment came when we stood up out of underneath this sheet with no clothes on. And I can't tell you, the shock of standing naked in front of 2,000 people was pretty horrific. And I put my hand out to grab hold of his hand.
Oh no, don't tell me.
But he was 6'4", so
no.
It wasn't his hand I was holding.
Oh no, I can't. Well, there's an admission. Look, it's great. Lovely to see you. Enjoy the show tonight.
Thanks so much.
Thanks
Can't
very
wait.
much. Elaine
Nice
Paige,
to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.